Hey, Eric.
I'm good. Can you check your audio back? Did you hear that, Michael?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me okay?
You're coming through a little machiney to me.
I am. Okay.
No. Justin is. Can you speak again?
How do I bring this? Is just
Maybe it's the headphones.
It might be the headphones, yeah.
You sounded a little bit like
an tunnel.
1, 2, 3. Just fine too.
That wasn't the case 10 minutes ago when I jumped on. Oh, now I can hear myself doing it.
Oh, no. Any can't hear me.
It sounds very robotic, and I'm sure I come off the same way, maybe. No? Oh. Oh, okay.
What do you recommend time here?
Yeah, I'm pinging Kathy. First things first, can you just refresh your page, Justin, just to take care of that and see if that helps at all?
Doing that right now.
You're on mute, Michael.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sound great.
All right.
And let's try the screen share. And right before you start, Eric, I'm just going to make sure I can change slides. And we're good.
We're in good shape.
All right.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks very, very much for joining. As folks jump on, I'll do a very brief introduction before handing it over to our stars of the session. As you know, we're joined and lucky to be joined by our friends Third and Grove. And Third and Grove and Justin have been a great partner of ours for a very long time. They're actually the ones behind that great King Arthur story you'll hear about tomorrow. And they're working with us to do some stuff with Acquia.com, and we're super excited about that. It's going to look great. But what I'm actually really excited about in this session is we hear a lot of stories about B2C, but I think this is going to be a really great session because we're very focused on a B2B use case and bringing a B2B digital experience to life. And we're going to be joined by Michael, and who's working as a senior program manager, Cloudhealth by VMware. And this is a great story about kind of focusing on bringing these really compelling, innovative digital experiences to life in B2B. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because you're going to hear directly from the source. So Michael, I think I'm actually going to pass it over to you to kick it off.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. So my name is Michael Liberté. I work within the digital marketing team at Cloudhealth by VMware. I'm responsible for the website and its operations. If you haven't heard of Cloudhealth before, it's a cloud management platform trusted by over 10,000 customers worldwide to accelerate business transformation in the cloud. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm joined by Justin. Justin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Eric. Hey, I'm Justin, the CEO and founder of Third and Grove. Eric mentioned, we work with King Arthur. That was mentioned in the main session. The only thing bad about working with King Arthur was that it exposed how bad of a baker I am at home. It was really very challenging to make anything come out right, despite their wonderful products. But really, really fun. Excited to talk with Michael today and VMware and Cloudhealth. We first started working with them I think 3 years ago, Michael. We've been working continuously together, and it's been really fun pre-acquisition, post-acquisition. Michael's going to go into that backstory, but we're Third and Grove. We're in Boston and San Francisco. We work with clients across the U.S. And some clients that are global. We do a lot of work with B2B and B2C. We're excited to be here. We're also including VMware is nominated. We have 3 clients this year, including VMware, that are nominated for Engage Awards, which we're really excited about. And we're excited to see how that turns out tomorrow. So thank you everyone for attending. We're looking forward to sharing everything Michael and I have learned together over the years. So what we're going to look at today is specifically some of the work that we did together with Michael's team to redesign and rebuild the site and upgrade it to Drupal 8. So we're going to talk about sort of the challenges we ran into in that process, what we took and what we did to sort of deal with that situation, the great metrics and results that we achieved together, and then some lasting advice, tips and tricks, things that we've learned that you can use right away in your own B2B optimization efforts. With that, I'll hand it back to you, Michael. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm part of the digital marketing team at Cloudhealth. And if you're in marketing, you understand there's always more you can be doing to drive new leads and better understand your prospects and customers. In a given week, marketing teams are responsible for creating and promoting various assets on our website, just like an event like this. There's events, there's ebooks, there's downloadable assets, webinars. This calendar that I show here is just an example of what a given week looks like for a marketer. And each one of these things has to take place on the website. And this is even just kind of a light week. That's not even a heavy week in many regards, but a lot of things have to take place. Because it's a lot, marketing teams are always looking to move fast and improve. And the challenge, we were faced with was how do we continue to move faster as a marketing organization? What you never want is your website to slow down your marketing operations. And so the challenge our team faced at Cloudhealth stemmed from the architectural problems that affected both the front end and the back end of our website on Drupal 7, namely the speed at which we wanted to move. So the other things I have showing on this screen, as you can see, are our old website that we launched in 2017 was very much a branding initiative, and not much thought was given to, scaling in a way that we ever thought we would need to. But in addition, like the back-end architecture and workflow wasn't thought of as much as well. So we all knew we needed to move fast in 2017 when we were moving to Drupal 7. In 2018, if you want to continue the slide, we were acquired by VMware. And what you'll see here is the public-facing VMware page that just shows acquisitions that VMware has acquired over the last, 10 years or so. And if you missed it already, we're just one of those companies that VMware has acquired. So we were already moving fast. Justin knew this, and we needed to move faster as a marketing organization, not only because the tech industry is fast to begin with, but we needed to make sure we were moving as fast as VMware wanted. And the current website, as it was architected, necessarily accommodate that. So we approached Justin and the Third and Grove team to help us out with this.
Good. I see. I thought I mistimed that. Excellent. And so I think the other, that was a good summary, Michael. And I think the other big challenge is, I love this clip from Glenn Ross. This is like Alec Baldwin's greatest soliloquy in a movie. And sales teams across the world have seen it. I'm sure you've seen it if you're sort of in B2B or sort of focused in that area. But what's really true about sort of how ridiculous this scene is that in sales, in B2B and lead gen, the last quarter doesn't really matter. Like, oh, it was a great quarter. Okay, who cares? What's happening this quarter? And it's like every time, every new quarter, like no good deed goes unpunished in B2B lead generation. And that's the same anywhere at any organization. And so when you show success, you've got to show more success in the next quarter. And so, I think that was really one of the primary focuses. Like they had done great as a standalone independent tech startup, Cloudhealth, and they had done so well that VMware acquired them. But now that VMware had got that acquisition done, they wanted to sort of accelerate and throw gasoline on that fire. And so we had to work together to sort of, to help Michael achieve that.
Right. So in discussing our challenges with Third and Grove, we're able to whittle down our focus of improvement areas. Like there were a ton, but we really just needed to focus on a few key areas that permeated throughout the entire website. So we got it down to this list here to accommodate, first and foremost, accommodate new products. The cloud industry moves fast and VMware moves very fast, and they have an ecosystem of products of their own that we might have to accommodate in the future. And that's still evolving as fast as any other technology industry does. So part of it was really revisiting everything and going back to square one and reimagining everything for our Drupal 7 site. So You can continue to the next slide, Justin, on this one. In our approach, we really realized that simplification was our ally in this. We, over time, had started building items that, were helpful in very small areas of the website, but impacted other pages where it might not be relevant. So over time, we created a lot of bloat within our CMS system, and we realized that from 2017 to 2018 through 2019, we were trying to figure out how we can best do that. So really coming back to simplifying everything, we simplified everything on the front end, from the main navigation in our information architecture to everything on the back end. So it was also easier for marketers to do what they do best, and that's just market. And you don't want your website to get in the way of doing those things. We streamlined our content creation and approval, specifically our resource center, which is a big demand generation driver for us. We had 15 content types in Drupal 7, all of which were 98% the same. They were some sort of downloadable PDF, and you really didn't need that. So we got that down to 3 different content types in Drupal 8. We also leveraged Drupal 8's media library flexibility over Drupal 7, and then leveraged page builders so that our marketers could build unique pages with just a small selection of layouts, kind of like a building block approach. This has also helped us move a lot faster in our sprints, because it's not only reimagining an entire page, we just have to focus on the component, at the component level, what we want to update. And so we've gotten really fast between, iteration to completion and just continuing from there.
All right, great. And on the B2B side, we took a couple of specific tactics. And so one, information architecture and navigation are really rich areas to look for improving B2B lead gen. The reason is a couple of things, but people forget in B2B, they're still consumers, right? They're still customers. So it is business to business sales, but you're still selling to a person, and you've got to remember that. The dark funnel is a major area of focus for sort of B2B lead gen today, because so much of consumer buying behaviors have moved into the B2B space. So a lot of that research and everything that's happened, all those conversations you wanted to be a part of, they've probably happened before they reach out. So B2B buyers are reaching out later in that sales process and in that funnel. And so it's really about improving engagement, giving them the content that they need, really learning from analytics and sort of surfacing things that they need to make their research really good, because so much of that research is going to happen before your account executives, sales teams really have any sort of opportunities to interact with those people. So really look in IA and navigation for that. Another area was there was a lot of great content, but it was locked up in PDF. So it was just about converting those PDFs to HTML pages and getting those much more consumable, mobile friendly, indexable, etc. Michael brought this up. Resource center was key. Like, look for the top sort of focused pages that people really spend time on, that convert well, and sort of double down on those and how to improve those. And then Michael also talked about this a little bit too, but it's really key to look at the promotion activities outside of the actual website. So what's happening with email, with social, with engagement, with LinkedIn, with remarketing? What are all those other campaigns happening, and sort of what can the site do, and how can it be built to sort of empower those steps faster? Because you don't need to improve conversion anything if you simply make your marketing team more efficient, right? You can get more leads in a number of different ways. There's a whole bunch of dials that you can turn. Michael?
Yeah, so thank you for that. That you touched on a lot of great stuff that we did, and this is an example of our old main information architecture, main navigation in 2017. And as you can see here, it was very wasn't as scalable as needed to be. I think I only had 2 more spaces to add anything to our solutions area. So even just from the front end perspective, scaling this was going to be a challenge. So we updated that in 2018 and 2019 to see as it is here, still very, very busy. If you were coming here for the first time and you knew cloud enough and you knew what you wanted to do, you could somehow navigate this, but we needed to peel back a lot of this in our next iteration. And what we went live with in July, we really made it simple for users on the front end to navigate our site, find our solutions easier. In a more easier way. And in addition, that's also reflective on the back end. So marketers can update their pages, but then also throw it up in the main navigation as a new section, just like that. So really, jumping into the modularity of Drupal 8, and extending that mentality for the rest of our marketing operations was incredibly helpful and incremental in getting us there. Here's another view of the same navigation as it is today. Before was solutions, now it's products. And then, yeah, you can go on to the next one. Justin touched on this earlier, converting PDFs as a file type can be a black hole of analytics for marketers. There's no JavaScript to track anyone. So, and that's, analytics and understanding your prospects and customers is the lifeblood of marketing. So expanding these to being HTML pages where we can kind of track, okay, these are the pain points that our customers are more concerned with. In this case, we have a solution brief that we still have in PDF form and you can download on our site if you need to, but we have it as a web page. And this is where we mainly drive a lot of our traffic today from our resource center.
And in terms of the empowerment side, in terms of editorial experience, a lot of the benefit of moving from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8 and eventually soon 9 is taking advantage of all that new functionality sort of in the back end. You saw some of it during the keynote session today, but really just using modern best practices to really build an interface that the marketing team can use really, really quickly. So, rather than from a very prescriptive locked-in editorial experience, it was really an additive editorial experience. So how do we think about components and modules over templates and static ideas? And so how do we think about flexibility versus sort of assumptions? And so building all of that into the new experience in Drupal 8, all that new functionality allowed us to sort of take that approach, make it much, much better. And then of course, empowerment, the other side of that is training. So we had to make sure that everyone who's going to be using the CMS understood sort of the new world and sort of the new editorial approaches that were going to be used there. So that was a key part of solving all of these issues. I touched upon some of these, but when you move from Drupal 8 to Drupal 7, you get a lot of additional things that we took advantage of with Michael's team. So, more self-service for the marketing team. You should never have to go to your developers to make content changes, right? But even today, there's organizations that are slowed down by that. So self-servicing marketing team, empowering them, great improvements in media library, image selection, so that rich content management, layout building, building new pages from an additive perspective. And then D9's continuing to innovate really fast. And what's great about Drupal 9 versus Drupal 8 to 7 is that the upgrades, not a big deal to Drupal 9 from Drupal 8. It was a little heavier lift to go from 7 to 8. So, Drupal's really set now on a really good track to keep taking advantage of all that new functionality that comes out. It's more like a big update, monthly update, rather than sort of a project that needs to, that might be a little bit slower. All right, Michael, we have just a couple minutes left, so we'll touch on, I'll let you take the results that you got.
Sure. Yeah. So the results have been great for us since we launched in July. We're still kind of reviewing everything, but right away we noticed some big difference in the velocity at which our marketing team moves. So going from concept to deployment between our marketing team, speaking with your developers and getting a new idea out there for us to promote from a workflow perspective has been great. We do kind of go back to square one. We have new hypotheses on our new pages that we need to A/B test, and we're building those into the website currently. But these results speak for themselves. Overall, our organic site conversion rate improved 6%. Our tier 1 conversion opportunities, our traffic to things like our demo and our free trial increased 13%, which is great for the amount of traffic we get. So now we're back at square one, coming up with new hypotheses and figuring out what we can continuously update.
Yeah, great. All right, so we had a couple of things just to summarize from what we've learned and what we'd recommend. Michael, you want to take the first couple?
Yeah, so over communication was key for us, really getting everyone on the same page between our marketers, our designers, our UX people, and your developers all in the same room to figure out things like workflows. So I remember we had our marketers working with developers to just so the developers could understand what a day in the life of a marketer is when they need to do the things on the website. So really translating and not talking past each other in terms of what's needed on the website and what we were looking for. So we really had weekly marketing weekly marketing updates across teams, and just being mindful to use your collaborative intelligence between the different people on your team.
And just to build on collaborative intelligence, this is really crucial. You know, Toyota has this famous thing called the 5 whys. And if there's an issue on the assembly line, they ask, well, why did it happen? Well, we ran out of spark plugs. Okay, well, why do we run out of spark plugs? Well, you know, there's a leak in the storage room and it ruins every batch out of 10. Oh, well, we should maybe fix that leak. Why is there a leak? Well, you know, there's a lab upstairs and they do crazy things. Like you keep asking why until you get to the root cause, and that actually makes you more efficient over time. The problem with the 5 whys is when you get to 6 or 7, it's always the same problem, and it's people. Right, so people working together is complicated. There's different stakeholders and interests, and people hear different things, and there's expectations that need to be aligned. And a digital project and working with a services company, it's all about the people. And so the key to really good comms, the key to sort of weekly meetings that are effective, the key to you've heard like comms need to be important, but you have to like each other. You have to have a good, true partnership, right? I feel like the clients that you're working with, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in the trenches together. And if you don't have a good sense of humor and sort of good sort of cadence back and forth, and that's going to be not going to be a fun trench to be in. So I think that's really the key here, is like make sure you have like a good chemistry with your partner, and then you can do really remarkable things. And then just to finish up quickly, we're just about at time, but touched upon these things. Navigation is a very rich source for B2B optimization, so always take a look there if you're looking to boost lead gen. There is great stuff in D8 and D9, so really think strategically about how you can take advantage of that. Don't replicate your Drupal 7 site in Drupal 8. That's a mistake. Take a pause and sort of understand, okay, how can we leverage what's in Drupal 8 to make something better that's probably different than what we have today? And agile marketing has to be empowered. So if you actually want to do agile marketing, you've got to put systems and technologies in place that allow them to move quickly and have a really high level of velocity. So that's everything we want to talk to you about today. Really appreciate your time, and thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of Engage.
Yeah, thanks to both of you, and please check out the Third and Grove booth. There's some great folks on that team, and thank you both of you for joining and talking through this. It's a great story, but I encourage everyone to go and talk to them as well. And thank you very much for joining us, for all the attendees who jumped on.
Appreciate it. And the step and repeat is real. It's not a Zoom background.
Nice.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Take care.